copy of the request for services so that you would understand what we were asking for. And we also gave you the reference of where the criteria would be in the pages. That's our job at this point. Our job is to try to rank them as best that we can based on the criteria, and I'll get to that in a second. We are not doing any reference checks or anything at this point. That once we receive your score sheets back, we will tally up and figure out who are the 3 highest scoring firms. And at that point, I believe that Bob and Tammy will likely be making reference calls so that we have those in place before our interviews, which hopefully will happen on October 18th. So the reason for this meeting is just to see how everybody's doing, to ask if you have any questions, to talk about the criteria in case any of you need the criteria clarified, and to just make sure that you understand that your role at this point is to read and score. So having said that, we open it up to questions or comments or whatever.
I'm just going to jump in, Kara. I just want to chime in and say that it's really important that we stick to the criteria when scoring. There's other things that are in the packets, but we want to stick to the criteria and score appropriately according to the criteria that's listed.
The other thing that when Tammy and I were speaking this morning is, you're going to go through these packets and you're going to see that a lot of them appear to meet the criteria. So it's really important that you pay attention to the ones that rise to the top for you, and make sure that they adhere to the criteria in terms of how you score them. These are all companies that have done a lot of jobs, but do they meet our criteria to get the most number of points based on the criteria that we specified? And that's important to pay attention to. I'm looking at criteria 4, just for example, evidence by proposed project staff for a potential hypothetical project for construction of 370 to 425 square feet. So those are the types of things that, you're going to want to pay attention to, the details that they provide to us.
Kara, Dick Early, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Kara, it's impossible on a couple of these things to even give a number. I'm going to just give you a quick example of what number 1B. 1B, I might as well give 10 points to every person. Satisfactory working relationship with designers, contractors. They all gave good references. You and I can't judge on something like that other than giving them a 10.
Well, maybe that's the case, Dick. Maybe that's the case.
All right, I just want you to know that's, basically I come up with that 2 10s or 2 5s and 2 10s right across the board because they've all done 370 square feet. All right, I just want you to know that, but to satisfactory working relationship with a designer, they gave references, so we can only assume the reference is the answer, and you got to give them a 10.
Right.
Unless I'm wrong.
Nope, you're right. You're right.
And I've only, like I talked to the superintendent, I've only analyzed 4 of them. I've gone page by page. Some companies are bigger than others. Doesn't matter how big you are, it's how many good project managers, and I'm going to say good project managers. There's only a handful of good project managers. We all know that. And
Dick, I guess I don't want us to get too much into the weeds in this. We need to stick to the criteria that's outlined before us to go to the next phase.
All right, but the criteria says if they all have project managers, you got to give them 100%.
Well, I've gone through a few myself, and I can't say anyone got 100. So, I mean, you really have to be very detailed and look for certain things that are outlined in the criteria.
All right.
All right.
That's not that I just have to put what I think is, I've only gone through 4 of them, so.
Yep.
And then another question, and I brought it up to you earlier, the value of a change order. The project manager or, the owner's representative didn't design it. Some of these people are over-designing them. And, some of these towns want Cadillac instead of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, but
And
again, Dick,
why some of the change orders are over.
right, but they want us, it listed what the change order was, but, I don't think that's something that you can necessarily judge at this point.
You can't because it says value of change order.
Yeah.
All right. There's nothing to talk about anymore on my part.
All right. Are there any other concerns or questions? No? Okay, so when does this all have to be in, Tammy?
Tam,
A week from today at 2?
week from today.
Yes, that's right. I'm just looking at my schedule here. Yeah,
Okay.
October 6th, October 6th.
Okay. So, I've gone through it, and then I've gone back and, looked at different things. So it's a really time consuming project. But I think we really need to really kind of dig deep into this stuff and make sure we're picking our top 3 that is going to be best for Whittier Tech and that meets the criteria.
Tammy, it says here October 4th.
Yeah, I apologize. That was the date we gave you, but we need to shortlist them on October 6th. So yes,
Oh.
October 4th for all of you.
Okay,
So it's the 6th.
another 4th.
The 4th.
The other thing is, when we interview them, we have to make sure that we ask the same question to all 3 of the highest scoring firms. So if there are any questions that you feel are important to you to ask, please email them to Tammy and we'll take a look at them and see if, they make sense to do that. We want to make sure that your questions are answered as well, but we will have to adhere like we're doing to the criteria. If we ask one question of one of them, we have to ask it of all 3 of them.
And if I can come in here, is we also provide the questions to the interviewees after we shortlist with an agenda of the interview.
Okay. All right. All right, if there's nothing else, is there anything else? No?
No?
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.